What's up, TLOPO gamers? My name's Destroyer, and in front of you, you see a cathode ray tube TV. Specifically, this is a Sony Trinitron display, which are known to be quite high quality. You also notice that it's on the floor, and I'm also on the floor. This is because I don't own this display. However, I will display the properties of this using modern technology. Below you, there is a Nintendo Switch. I do not know why it's on the ground, but I will correct this mistake by putting it sort of not on the ground and putting it inside this dock, which is conveniently placed here. But before we do that, we should probably explain what all of these cables are for, because they're quite messy. Right here, this is RCA. That's a company that is known for making these cables, but you have, these are left and right audio. I don't know which one's left or right. And this one's video. These go into this little jangled mess of cables into the TV itself, and that allows it to play, well, video and audio. However, that's for devices that, are capable of doing this kind of connection, which most modern devices are not capable of, except the Wii U for some reason. But that's also 10 years old, so that's not really a good argument. So you need this little thingy-majig. I bought this from Walmart. This allows you to take analog, which is like these cables here, to digital, which is HDMI right here, and then put it into a modern device like a Nintendo Switch. Why did I choose a Nintendo Switch specifically? Well, it's because it's something that I own. But we're going to start the Nintendo Switch, and we're going to just go from there. There's one more thing that I forgot to mention on here is that on this device that I bought from Walmart, you can switch from NTSC to PAL. All you have to know is that NTSC is for, like, American stuff, and then PAL is for, like, non-American stuff, because, screw non-Americans, I guess. Basically, I guess on a technical level, you could say that NTSC does 60 frames per second, and then PAL does 50 frames per second. It's weird. Frame times are weird. And then there's USB and power, and that is going into my laptop right now, right here. And that's parts of line. So we should get this thing a signal. We need to get this thing a signal by putting something that will allow it to get a signal. There we go. Now it's just to press this home button. Once it connects to this thing. So we'll do that real quick. Hey, look, power. Look, it's charging too. Crazy. Okay, so this is my Nintendo Switch. You can even hear audio on it, but we might have to play it a little bit louder so it can be hearable from this distance. Here's a remote. This is a Sony remote. Probably works with this thing. This looks like volume. We'll turn it up. Oh man, that old volume slider. Crazy. So I'm not going to really explain what how these kind of TVs work, because it's pretty non-important. It spits out electrons, like a big mouth at the back, and it just spits electrons at this like crystal display here. And that's how it makes colors and stuff work. The advantage of using a CRT display is that, first of all, it makes old games look better. So, and we're going to get into that with that Super Mario game right there. And also, it kind of makes things look smoother. You have games that run at 30 FPS or 60 FPS. Frame rates are not really a thing on here because it's not digital, it's analog. So it sort of just looks better, I guess. So I have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in because I like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So I'm going to play that first. This is just for I guess playing a normal modern game on a TV that's old. I've tried this out originally, yesterday, to make sure it works. And it does. You can hear it. The audio is really good on the Trinitron. I need to find a way to dock my phone so that I can play the game. That'll be quite complicated. I do not know how I'll be able to accomplish this task. So I'll attempt to do this, I guess. That looks kind of bad, but that's the best I got. So I'll go into single player, and I'll just do a versus race. King Boo, my fave. Do that. We're gonna do 150. I think that's tolerable. I don't know if this is detectable on this display, but for me, everything is flickering pretty bad. On the camera, it looks fine, but I'm not sure until I upload this video. So I'm just gonna put it in random right here, but I'm only gonna play one race. I'm not gonna play all 4 of them because we have to move on to this everything. Okay, we'll start the race. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully. Sunset Wilds. This is a DLC course from this game. So something that I've noticed with this is that you can tell that it's not really like framed right. And what I mean is that, let me turn this down a little bit so you can hear me better. Or so I can hear myself better. There we go. Is that the Nintendo Switch is a modern console and it uses a widescreen format, which means that stuff isn't crap. I'm doing so bad. Stuff isn't necessarily like framed it isn't framed well in this resolution. This, for context, is a 4:3 aspect ratio display. I don't know like what the resolution per se is for this, because with CRT displays, it doesn't use like your traditional like 480p, 720p. I forgot what the P stands for, but just think that P is like digital resolution. CRT displays sort of do it differently, where they will explain it in the context of like how many lines does it draw per frame. So typically with a SD resolution, you get like 240 lines or 140 or so, with the max ones being like 480 lines, which would be 480 interlaced or 480i. So it says SD TV at the top, so it might be fair to assume that this is rendering 480, or it's like, you know, spitting out like 480 lines per second. No, not per second. Well, I mean, I guess it is per second, but like, I mean, okay. So it's rendering everything. It's spitting all these like these electrons out to like onto this like glass, like, I don't know, glass barf display or something, and it does that. I don't know how else to say it. And there should be 480 of those lines happening. And there's not really a frame rate. That's what I said before with analog. So it's just sort of doing it. I don't know how it's doing it because I'm not like an expert like electrophysicist or something. So it's just doing it. That's all we have to know. And there's 480 of the lines being spit out. And that's all we have to know. And the result is whatever this thing is. So I won first place because I'm so good. Something that is interesting to note here is that if you look at it straight on, you sort of see how like it's sort of like slanted. That could probably be the warping of the display, because I don't think this is necessarily like, most CRT TVs are not necessarily like straight. Also, it could be the problem of this thing like not being able to like take widescreen and put it in this aspect ratio, because all of that is being done here. That's interpreting what the digital signal is sending to analog. So I'll put this down, and I'm just gonna close the game. So there's Mario Kart 8. We're gonna take Mario Kart 8 out, my favorite game on the Switch, and we're just gonna put Super Mario 3D All-Stars in there instead. And Super Mario 3D All-Stars is an interesting game because it takes games that were from like the 90s and early thousands, where HDMI wasn't really a receptacle that you can put on those consoles, because it wasn't really developed yet. It was developed by the time the Wii came out, which is Galaxy over there. But I don't want to touch Galaxy because that's a game that has been enhanced for this console to look better. Mario 64 is different, because Mario 64 does not have any radical modifications. And obviously, I could emulate this on consoles, or no, on consoles, but also on a computer of some sort. But that would put me legally in a gray area. So I have it legally, and it's on the Switch, which I have here. So I might as well demonstrate how it looks on the Switch, where I have it legally. Thanks, Nintendo. So, opening Mario 64, it should open you right to the starting screen. There you go. And Mario 64, this kind of looks like how it's intended to look like. So, it looks good. I like how it looks. It looks a lot better than a game that's modernized being put on this display. This is like meant to be on this display. They developed it for like people to play it on this. So it looks really nice. Another thing that CRT displays do is that it really blurs the line on like what pixels look like. Pixels are very much a thing that's like for computers. Like you can see them on like computer displays, computer being digital. With analog, it's sort of like you have all these lines and stuff. Like this would normally have a lot of jaggies, which is like aliasing or whatever. And it sort of smooths it out. Same with Mario, you can see him right there. He looks very smooth. Not necessarily like perfect, but the polygons are more abstracted from your view. They're like, it's harder to disseminate like what kind of polygons Mario is made of. He sort of just looks like Mario on this display, which is a good thing. You'll also notice that if I put the camera at certain angles, it will cause like some weird like flickering in the display. That's just like CRT displays. Like right now, it's flickering pretty hard. If I move it, it should be better. So yeah, this is what Mario 64 looks like, and it looks a lot better than your digital counterpart. So I think that's all I have to show for the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch's case. So I'm going to just turn the Switch off. Not necessarily, I'm just going to put it to sleep. There we go. No signal. It's good to see that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the output from here. Close that up. Close the shop up. Oh no, my Switch is broken. Not really, it's just a dock. But I'll have to fix that later. Or now. Okay, cool. Okay, so HDMI. This is a powerful thing. You can take HDMI and do this. This is a computer. This is my computer, actually. I do own this thing. So, taking this computer, and now, if we look up, you can see the reflection already. That's Windows. This is Windows 11 running on a CRT display from like probably 20 or so years ago, maybe older. I don't know this model of Trinitron. So, this is acting as a secondary display right now. You can see that the aspect ratio is not perfect because, again, this thing has to interpret what it's supposed to be doing, and it's not doing it perfectly. It can't perfectly replicate it, but it can try, and that's the important part. So, this means that I can take this thing and put it over there. So I will do that. So this is Pirates Online on a CRT display. And you can see that it's sort of like an infinite frame rate. It looks very smooth, is what I'm trying to say. So, there's a couple problems here. Because of the aspect ratio, you can see that the game is like extremely like it's trying to take this thing and like make this full screen, but it's not doing a good job. This thing is a bad thing at interpreting this, but it's working. You can see it. It's there. However, there's another problem. Can you read this? Because if you read it from all the way back here, that is extremely hard to read. So, another thing is that there's not enough lines rendering this image. So, that means this stuff is very blurry and hard to read. Because this is a game that was meant to be played on, like, actual monitors. And, like, you would have like there were CRT displays that you would use for computers sort of when this game came out. Not exactly. They were sort of being phased out at this point, 2007, but they existed. Like, people were using them as computer displays. The problem is, this is a huge display. This looks like it's like 30 inches or so. Like, people are not using CRTs this big for a computer. This is used for like TV and consoles. This is media that's meant to be played on like something digital or smaller, where these lines would be squished into a smaller PPI. But that's pixels per inch. I guess you could say lines per inch, LPI. I wouldn't necessarily make that argument. But yeah, that's what you'd want. You'd want something to make this look cleaner because it'd be on a smaller display. So we have 480 lines here, most likely. And they're being like stretched out to this huge like display, which is good for most content, just not this. So we have an aspect ratio problem and the resolution problem. Stuff is hard to read. Stuff is blurry. So we can really only fix one of these things. We can do the aspect ratio problem by trying to correctly size our window to the display. Now we can see everything. It looks perfect. But it's not like, it's still blurry. It's still hard to read. I can see that's my name's Davy Shark School, but what is this? I don't know. That's benevolence, obviously. What am I supposed to sync? I'm supposed to be using a ship. Well, it's a French Cerberus ship, but it's just too hard to read on this display. Like, what island is this? Is that... Or, what is this going on? What is all this? How am I supposed to read this? You get my point. I can't read anything on this display because it sucks. Well, it doesn't suck. It just sucks for this certain application. I'm sort of just ranting at this point. So, the point of this video is that CRT displays are cool, but they're cool for most things, which don't include Pirates Online. So, just to show off some more modern things on this kind of display, we're going to go somewhere. I don't know where we're going to go, but we're going to go somewhere. Let's go to a lobby. Ooh, lobbies. You never seen that on a CRT display? Maybe. I don't know. Someone could have done this before me. So, I'm trying to find... Let's keep it to this guy. This guy's in Hollowoods. Hollowoods came out in 2017. So I'm going to try to push that a bit lower. Not too low, though, because I have an extension on my computer that makes this clear. Thanks, Ben Jr. So that guy's named Totem. So this looks very smooth, to be honest. Looks very nice. Oh, there's some more, what do you call them? Rendering. Oh, wait, what? Oh, I never did that quest on here. I'm gonna have to do something else then. Oh, wait, what happens if I... Oh, do I not have music on? Display, audio. Oh, it's because I disabled the settings. Okay, wait. I can fix this. I want to hear the audio from the game, but I disabled, like, being able to play audio from here. So, you can hear it here, but that's my, what do you call it? The other thing. My laptop speakers. So, I have to go into settings, more sound settings. There we go. I have to enable this. This is the default device. I need to move this here. I think. Are you playing any audio? I don't think so. This should be... Do I have any other audio? More sound settings. No, it should be from that one. Properties. How do I test it? So yeah, it's coming out. So we need to probably reboot the game. So I'll do that real quick. And okay. This is going to be a second. There we go. Oh, wait, shoot. So to end off this video, I'm going to go to an island. I'm going to go to Bilgewater specifically. Because I feel like this is where we'll really see the wonder of Pirates Online on the CRT, I suppose. Because Bilgewater came out 2 years ago in TLOPO, but like this is like the first island ever. So yeah, there we go. We have successfully regressed into an old age with new music, but I mean, you know, it's a necessary evil. So yeah, I think it looks great. I lied though. I'm gonna kill an enemy before I end the video. So we'll go over here and kill an enemy with the Behemoth Blade, which I assume I have equipped because I was fighting Dry Rot. Yeah, that's the one. Dry Rot. So there we go. Kill the enemy. I forgot to turn off every other sound effect, so it's just nothing apparently. I'm good. Oh, yeah, the looting sound effects though. Almost died there. Oh god, those sounds are loud. So yeah, that was killing enemy. I don't know why it's... Oh, there's... Cool. So yeah, that's Pirates Online on the CRT. Well, and Nintendo Switch, but mainly Pirates Online. Don't ask me to complete a specific challenge on this display because I'm leaving this property tomorrow. And by the time that anyone sees this video, I'll already be leaving this property. Unless I buy my own CRT display, which might be possible in the future, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not going to try to loot a legendary on this thing, even though that'd be cool. Or anything of that sort. So yeah. I'll see y'all later then. Goodbye.